Hi, this is Vicki Romaine, the Cheerful Greetings, and this is the next cool card we're going to make. It opens up like this, and like this, and then you have your sentiment inside. And you can also have it like this. So it has a number of layers. So it's easy to make, it's just the fact that it's got a number of layers. The first thing I'm going to do is our scoring, and I will be giving you the sizes of the different pieces as we go along. Okay, here is my scorer. And by the way, in case you hear a lot of birds in the background, I'm at a campground and just spending Mother's Day weekend or week here at the campground, and I am doing my tutorial from the campground, so that's why you hear all the birds in the background. So let's start with our scoring pieces. First piece is 8.5 by 2.5, and I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And I'm going to fold it at that point, and that folds into half. Burnish it down. So this piece is going to be put aside for now. The next piece that we're going to work with to score is this piece. And this piece we're going to score at 5 1/4. Okay, that's all the scoring we're going to do. But I'm going to keep my scoring tool out because I want to burnish all my pieces. And so we're going to leave this unfolded for the moment, okay? A basic card is the standard size, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and that's this piece here. And I'm working with double-sided cardstock, so that's why this card is perfect for a 12 by 12 piece of double-sided cardstock, because you can make the entire card from one piece of 12 by 12. So I'm going to have this out like this. And this is my basic piece. The piece that goes on top of it, and I said this was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. The piece that goes on top of it is 8 1/2 by 4. Because remember, this is 4 1/4, and we want to make it smaller, so we're going to do it like this, and that's why it's 4. So that's 8 1/2 by 4. We have a little border around the edge. So what I'm going to do now is get my glue. I'm using Eileen's Turbo Glue. And I'm going to glue up to the fold. Not right at it, but close enough. And I want to show my layers, so that is why I'm going to turn this piece this way. And it goes on like this. Now, I'm going to straighten it up just a little bit. Got a little bit too much at the top, and not quite enough at the bottom. So there we go. Now we're going to fold it over at our scoring line, which is here. And if you haven't put enough glue there, you can go in If you haven't gotten it close enough to the edge, you can go in and put a little glue right here at the edge. And then that will stick down, and we want to burnish it. Okay, that's that piece. Now, this flips over like this. I want to put a layer on it. So the layer I'm going to put is my green layer. And this is 3 by 3 3/4. Remember, this is 4, and we go down 1/4 of an inch each time. So that's why this is 3 3/4. If you don't know the measurements of something, you can probably figure it out if you just think that each layer you put on is usually 1/4 of an inch smaller than the one previously. There we go. There's my layer there. Okay, now we have this piece here. And we need, it's kind of a bit busy, but we want to put a sentiment on it. Now you can either do that here or you could do it here. It depends on how you want your card to look. This time I'm going to do it in here. Now the card that I had previously, I did the same. I left the back solid. I put my sentiment. I didn't actually put a sentiment. Most of the time I don't put a sentiment unless I know who I'm going to send the card to. So anyway, and I chose kind of gray. It's a neutral color. I didn't have a nice shade of off-white. And I didn't want white because of the dark flowers there. So I did the gray, like the flowers, and the browns on the dark side. That goes here. Okay. Now our next piece is this 8.5 by 4. Excuse me. It's about 8.5 by 2.5. I'm sorry. I'm turning my little flap over to the other side so I have the brown showing. So I want my contrast here, so I'm going to glue this down. I've folded it in half at that 4 1/4 mark, 4 1/4 mark, excuse me. So I'm going to put some glue on it here. I'm using Allen's Turbo Glue, which has been thinned down. And I'm going to put this here. I just want to kind of center it. I'll lift this up so I can kind of center it on this side. Okay. Now basically, we've got our card done. It's just a matter of adding a few more embellishments and places for sentiments. Okay, I have this piece here, and it is 2 1/4 by 4. 2 1/4 by 4. Because this was 8 1/2, and then half of it is 4 1/4. So you subtract a fourth and you get 4. And so this is 2 1/4 by 4. And we're going to put this in here for our sentiment. I'm going to lift this up so I can see my spacing a little bit. Now, I have a choice. I can either put my sentiment here and have this overlap like this with my sentiment on the front, which is what I was getting ready to do here, is put my sentiment on the front. Or I can take this and make this kind of finish off and put 2 sentiments here if I want to. And I think that's what I'm going to do this time. You can see that this card has a lot of possibilities. You can do it two or three different ways. And I'll show you the reason I'm not putting, I'll show you the reason I'm not putting this piece of cardstock. By the way, this is the same size as that. I'll show you my reasoning for not putting this on the outside this time. There we go. That matches up like that. So here's my card. Very easy, very simple. Put a number of layers. And you could have put another layer here. It didn't. You could put as many layers as you want to. But this all can be gotten on one piece of 12 by 12, which I think is nice. We're gonna fold this over like this, and then I've got my contrasting color here. And the reason I decided not to put a cinnamon on the outside is because I made one like this, and this one I've already put the cinnamons in. I like that. And in reality, it just dawned on me, and I didn't notice as I was working, I actually have one layer more on this card than I do this one. See, there's only 2 layers. But it doesn't matter. It's the basic card, and that's what I'm after. Oops. Now let's see what I can do. I can use these. I had some more of these. It's what I used on this card, but I don't want to do the same thing. And I've got some of these that would look nice on this. The coloring is good. But I was kind of looking at this and thought I'd do something just a little different. Since I have the flowers on there, I thought I might pick me up a couple of mushrooms here and put them on. I can either put the 2 little small ones here, or I was kind of looking at this one, and let's see what would happen if I put it on. I hope you enjoy my series of cool cards. I just thought I would do a series of all the cards that I knew about that I've done recently, and put them all at one time so you could have them at one time and be able to refer back to them and maybe make some of them. Let's see if this is too big. It may be too big. I may have to use one of the other mushrooms. But I was thinking if maybe I kind of put it at, oops, we don't want that. That's a piece of the land there, a piece of the dirt. I'll take that out. But I think this could go on here nicely, like that. What do you think? Like that? I think that has more personality than the two, these smaller ones. I like this one, and he's onto here, but these kind of lacking here. He's definitely lacking, but I like these. So we'll go with these, and these are green to go with the other. So here's my card, ready for me to stamp. And here's the back side, very colorful. And if I had wanted to, I could have used my distress inks and gone around and distressed them. But I thought it was distressed enough with the two different colors. Now, let's see what we have here. Here's my two cards that do not have a sentiment inside. And I might want to go back here and burnish my folds a little better so they'll stay down a little better. Okay. And then here's this one. I'll open it up because it already has the sentiment in it. I know who I'm sending that to. That's why I went ahead and did the sentiment. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed this cool card. If you will, please come back and see me what cool card I have in store for you for next time. I will say it's very, very simple and very, very easy and very, very quick. So it'll only take a moment to show it, but I want to show some difficult ones and some easy ones for the ones that are just beginning to make cards. You don't want to have all hard ones for everyone. You have to start somewhere, so that's why I'm trying to mix them up a little bit. And then I have a couple more cards that are multi-layered and have a lot of cutting and all to do. So, if you will, come back and see me. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great crafting day. Bye.